So I just finished reading chapter 2 of the Royale, which is called Disclaimer for M. And this chapter is basically a big giant information dump, really. So the concept is there's this disclaimer, this giant big letter, this giant big chunk of information uh, that is sent to M. And it's basically saying all the information because this is set, this chapter and the rest of the story until we hit a certain point is set 2 weeks before the events of chapter 1. So, what it is kind of give you the sense of, what it is? It feels like, a movie saying, agent, this is your mission, blah, 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 blah. But it's not saying this is your mission to the agent, it's saying this is the information if you want this to be important, if you want this to be a mission to the boss, which is in this case is M. And it's basically a big giant list. It's basically that's all it is. It's a giant like this is who the chief is. This is all he is. He is this chubby speaks this, speaks that. He's habits, heavy smoker. He's clever. He's this and that. Blah 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 blah. That there's a baccarat game at a casino at Royale. And basically it'd be great if what and it'd be great if we win the winnings for this certain reason. And and also all the information about this about Smurfs. Now, what my understanding is Smurf is is Smurfs basically Spectre? I think Smurf. What I hear Smurf is basically Spectre, isn't it? So, but basically it's meant to be a Russian thing. Translates to death to spies, and you have information on that. It's basically I was reading it and I was like, "Phew, this is just a big chunk of information load. This is just a big chunk of like like for me, I was just thinking it was going to be like, oh, kind of like use the movie for example, flirting with money penny, and be like, welcome to seven. Have you ever heard of blah 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 blah? And Bond was like, well, actually, I have heard blah 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 blah. Well, we have this is guy named Chief, and we want you to take, and he's going to do some gambling. He's been working for the Soviets, and that's what I thought it was going to be. But no, 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 no. And people may say, well, that's the next chapter. But what happens in this is just the telegraph of the information dump, and I was whew. It was like I kept looking at the number because I'm reading it for Kindle. So there was a part of me that was like, how long, how how many minutes do Kindle think it's going to take me to finish this chapter? Because I'm thinking story. It could be in the sense like, hey, I'm used to movie form of storytelling, which is you do the thing that I made fun of about like, hey, welcome to seven and all that kind of stuff. Versus this, which is, hey, why don't we tell the audience who's the threat, who's the sheep, who's Smirch, who's the big threats before a hero does, and then maybe that's a sense of narrative kind of talking here. But yeah, I mean, so far we look there's 27 chapters here, guys. Let's be fair. Those are I'm kind of surprised how many how many pages it is. It's the whole book is 154 pages, which is kind of a big chunk um, at the time, which is kind of a big thing. So because now these types books are like 100 and blah and all that. So anyway, so if you read the chapter, in my guess, if you read the book, you read the chapter. Come along, let me tell me your thoughts on the chapter. But anyway, it's just you know, so far in the first few chapters, we got the establishment of the world and the establishment of the threat. Um, so now my guess the story actually starts in chapter 3, I think. Could be wrong. It could be wrong.